Ever wondered how prisoners pass time in solitary confinement? It's a question that's fascinated people for years. This idea of being completely cut off, alone with your thoughts. How do you cope? Prisoners have developed a range of activities and coping mechanisms, some more creative than others. Join me as we delve into the world of solitary confinement and explore how inmates occupy their time. Now, you might think being locked up in a small cell would make it hard to stay in shape. But many inmates take their fitness seriously. We're talking about guys doing hundreds of push-ups, sit-ups, even crafting makeshift weights out of whatever they can get their hands on. It's about more than just physical strength, though. It's about maintaining a sense of control, of routine, in an environment that seems designed to strip you of both. No, we're not talking about casting a line in a lake here. Fishing in prison takes on a whole new meaning. Imagine this, you're in your cell, and you need something from a guy a few cells down. Could be anything, cigarettes, batteries, maybe even a bit of news from the outside world. That's where fishing comes in. Using a combination of string, ingenuity, and a good dose of patience, inmates create these intricate pulley systems to pass items between cells. It's no secret that drugs find their way into even the most secure facilities, and solitary confinement, with its isolation and monotony, can make the temptation to escape reality even stronger. We're not talking about just your average street drugs here either. Inmates have been known to get their hands on prescription meds, anything to take the edge off. But it's a risky game. Getting caught with contraband can lead to even harsher punishments, extending their time in solitary. Chapter 4. Talking Through Walls, the Prison Grapevine. Humans are social creatures. Even in solitary, that need for connection doesn't just disappear. Inmates have developed this almost uncanny ability to communicate with each other through the thick concrete walls. We're talking tapping codes, whispering through air vents, even using the plumbing system as a makeshift communication network. It's a testament to human ingenuity, really, this determination to find a way to connect, even when you're completely isolated. Chapter 5. Reaching Out. Fences and vents become lifelines. Imagine being able to hear the voices of other human beings, but not being able to see them. That's the reality for many in solitary. But where there's a will, there's a way. Inmates will go to extraordinary lengths to communicate with those in adjacent cells or directly above them. We're talking about shouting through fences, passing notes through vents, anything to break the silence and feel a sense of camaraderie. Chapter 6. Books escaping between the pages. For some inmates, solitary confinement becomes an opportunity to finally catch up on all those books they never had time for. And we're not just talking about dog-eared paperbacks here. Prison libraries can be surprisingly well-stocked, offering everything from classic literature to self-help books. Reading becomes a way to escape the confines of their cell, to travel to different worlds, to lose themselves in stories and knowledge. Letters. Maintaining a lifeline to the outside. It's easy to feel forgotten when you're locked away in solitary. But letters from loved ones can be a lifeline, a reminder that there's still a world out there. Inmates will spend hours poring over letters, rereading them, cherishing every word. And writing back, sharing their thoughts and experiences, can be incredibly cathartic. It's a way of maintaining a connection to the outside world, of holding on to their humanity. Inappropriate behavior, a disturbing reality. This is a difficult subject to talk about, but it's important to acknowledge the darker side of solitary confinement. For some inmates, the isolation and lack of human contact can lead to disturbing behavior. They may engage in inappropriate acts towards female officers, a desperate and misguided attempt to assert some form of control or dominance in an environment where they feel powerless. It's a sad reminder of the psychological toll that solitary confinement can take. Chapter 9. Predatory Behavior, the Darkest Corner. This is where things get truly disturbing. In some cases, the power dynamics of prison life can become even more twisted in solitary. Predatory inmates may prey on weaker cellmates, exploiting their vulnerability for their own gratification. It's a horrifying thought. but it's a reality that we can't ignore. These acts of violence and abuse highlight the urgent need for reform, for a more humane approach to solitary confinement. Chapter 10. Sleep deprivation, a night of frustration. Imagine trying to sleep when the person next door is constantly banging on the walls. That's the reality for many inmates in solitary. Some inmates, their sleep schedules completely out of whack, will kick on their doors at night, keeping others awake. It's a form of psychological torture, really, a way of exerting control and causing misery in an environment where even the smallest act of defiance can feel like a victory. Chapter 11. Drawing, finding solace in art. Even in the bleakest of environments, humans have this amazing capacity for creativity. For some inmates, drawing becomes a form of therapy, a way to express themselves and process their emotions. Using whatever materials they can scrounge up, pencils, crayons, even burnt matchsticks, they create intricate drawings, portraits, and murals on their cell walls. It's a way of finding beauty in the midst of despair, of transforming their surroundings with their imagination. Chapter 12. DIY cigarettes, the hunt for tobacco. Smoking may be banned in most prisons, but that doesn't stop inmates. They rely on orderlies to find discarded cigarette butts, scavenging for scraps of tobacco, drying them out, and using toilet paper or Bible pages to roll cigarettes. It's a testament to their resourcefulness. Imagine being so desperate for human interaction that you resort to repeatedly pressing the emergency button in your cell. For some inmates, it becomes a game, a way to break the monotony and elicit a reaction from the guards. Of course, it's a dangerous game to play. False alarms can have serious consequences, but for those who feel invisible, forgotten, it can seem like the only way to get anyone to pay attention. Music has this incredible power to transcend even the most confining of walls. In solitary, where silence can be deafening, inmates find ways to create their own music. We're talking about beatboxing, rapping, singing at the top of their lungs. Others will join in, creating these incredible rhythms by banging on their cell doors, turning the entire cell block into a makeshift concert hall. It's a way of expressing themselves, of connecting with others, of finding moments of joy in the midst of darkness. For some inmates, creating chaos becomes a form of entertainment. Popping sprinkler heads, flooding their cells, it's a way to break the monotony, to watch the guards scramble to regain control. It's a dangerous game that can result in punishment. But for those with nothing left to lose, it can be a way of reclaiming power. The S word, a cry for help or manipulation. This is perhaps the most disturbing and complex behavior of all. Some inmates engage in self-harm, even attempting suicide when guards are nearby. It's a desperate cry for help, a way of getting attention. But it can also be manipulation, trying to game the system. A reminder of the mental toll of solitary confinement and the need for humane solutions. Imagine refusing to comply with orders, leading to a confrontation with the guards. Inmates refuse to be handcuffed or cover their cell windows, preventing checks. It's a power play, asserting control in a powerless environment. Guards assemble, suit up in riot gear, preparing for confrontation. The inmate watches, calculating, holding the power to de-escalate. For some inmates, the standoff isn't enough. They crave the adrenaline rush of a full-blown confrontation, pushing the guards to their limits. They know that their actions will have consequences, that they might be gassed, shot with rubber bullets, but they don't care. It's about feeling something, anything, in an environment that can feel numbingly monotonous. It's a dangerous and self-destructive way of coping, but for some, it's the only way they know how to feel alive. It's a sad reality that in the world of solitary confinement, even violence and chaos can become a form of entertainment. Other inmates, locked in their cells, will watch these confrontations unfold with a mixture of fear, excitement, and morbid curiosity. It's a reminder that even in the most isolated of environments, humans are social creatures, and they will find ways to connect with each other, even if it's through the shared experience of witnessing someone else's breakdown. These 19 activities, some mundane, some disturbing, some downright heartbreaking, offer a glimpse into the strange and often unsettling world of solitary confinement. They highlight the lengths to which prisoners will go to pass the time, to maintain their sanity, to feel human in an environment that seems designed to strip them of their humanity. It's a stark reminder of the harsh realities of life behind bars, and the urgent need for reform in the way we treat those who have been incarcerated.